All right, thanks, guys. We are 64% in our last 14 board member package plays on patreon.com/Brock Page. We're also hitting at 65% for the entire college football season on that website. If you want some more information about that site, a link for it is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/Brock Page. Plus, I'll have more information about that at the end of the show. All right, Youngstown State takes on Akron, and that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. Akron's -9, totals at 132.5. We saw a lot of movement on this total. We also saw a half a point fade of Akron in the early wagering. The Zips open 9.5 down to -9. Total open 137 all the way down to 132.5. 53% are leaning Akron, 66% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Penguins of Youngstown State, they're plus 375 on the money line. Now, Youngstown State, they've dropped 2 out of their last 3. They're also 0-2 against the number in their last couple of games as well. Akron on the other side, 3-1 straight up on the year, 2-1 against the spread in their last 3. Zarius Williams is averaging 16 points a game, 9 rebounds. He's also averaging 3 blocks. Tyler Cheese, that's right, the Cheese Man. Tyler Cheese, 14 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists for him. Now, total-wise, Akron is 2-1 to the under overall for the year. Youngstown, 3-0 to the under themselves. I'm going to lean toward Akron in this matchup here. Give me the Zips -9 and the under 132.5 in that game. Next matchup, Arkansas Pine Bluff. That's right, Pine Bluff taking on Pitt. 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Panthers of Pitt are -23 in this game. No surprises there. Totals at 124. We did see a 2-point move toward Pitt. We also saw movement downward on this total. Now, the Panthers open 21 up to -23. Total open at 124.5 down to 124 even. The Pitt Panthers are just 2-3 against the spread overall for the year. Meanwhile, Arkansas Pine Bluff, they covered 2 out of their last 4 as the underdog. Sean Doss is averaging 12 points a game, 3 rebounds. He's shooting 40% from the field. Markel Carter is averaging 12 points a game as well, 7 rebounds, 46% from the field for Markel. Now, total-wise, Arkansas Pine Bluff, they are 3-1 to the under overall for the year, 75% to the under when traveling. Pitt on the other side, 4-1 to the under overall for this very short season. I'm going to lean toward the dog in this matchup here. Give me the Golden Lions of Arkansas Pine Bluff, +23, and the under 124 in that game. Next matchup, that's on the board here. Texas taking on Georgetown, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at Madison Square Garden in New York City. The Longhorns are -6.5, totals 145. We saw a half a point move toward Texas and movement upward on the total. The Longhorns open 6, up to 6.5. Total open 143, up to 145. 60% of the consensus are leaning toward Texas. 67% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Hoyas of Georgetown are +270 on the money line. Georgetown has not covered a game yet this year. They're 0-4 against the spread. They failed to cover against the likes of Georgia State, Penn State, and Central Arkansas. Now, Texas on the other side, they are undefeated, 4-0 straight up on the year. They defeated Purdue back on November 9th, 70-66. Nice marquee win for him there. Matt Coleman's averaging 15 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He's also shooting 56% from the field. And Courtney Ramey, 9 points a game, 5 rebounds for him. Now, total-wise, the Longhorns are 3-1 to the under on the year. Georgetown, 2 out of their last 4 stayed under as well. I'm going to lean toward the Longhorns, -6.5. And the under 145 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Thursday's college basketball action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/Brock Page, where once again we are 65% in our last, 64% our last 14 board member package plays. We're also hitting at 65% for the entire college football season on that website. Now, a lot of folks will ask me what's the difference between your Patreon page and what you do right here on YouTube. I'll answer that question at the end of the show. Once again, link for that site is in the description section below. My current record on Patreon is a lot better than it is on YouTube, and you can check that out right now. All you got to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, next matchup. Not sure if we have it on the board. We might. Yes, we do. Xavier taking on Towson. 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. Xavier's laying double digits. They're -10. Total is 132.5. We actually did see a 1-point fade of the Musketeers and movement upward on the total. Xavier opened 11, down to -10. Total open 131, up to 132.5. 64% are leaning Xavier, 55% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Tigers of Towson are plus 440 on the money line. Now, Xavier has failed to cover every point spread so far this season. They're 0-4 against the spread on the year, 4-0 to the under as well. Now, Towson on the other side, they're 2-1 against the spread, 2-1 to the under as well. So I think they should get the job done, keep this one relatively close, at least within double digits. I'm going to lean Towson +10 and the under 132.5 in that game. And I'm going to slide my next matchup. And I don't think of this. No, it's not on the board. We're really scouring the United States for this one. I'm talking about Tennessee Tech taking on the Eagles of Winthrop. 7:30 Eastern tip-off in that game. Winthrop's -14.5. Total's 128 and a hook. We saw a half a point move toward Winthrop and movement upward on the total. The Eagles open 14, up to -14.5. Total open 128, up to 128 and a hook. Winthrop is 4-0 against the number on the year. DJ Burns is averaging 13 points a game, 2 rebounds. He's shooting 62% from the field. Josh Ferguson's also averaging a dozen a game, 6 rebounds, 46% from the field. Tennessee Tech not getting it done on the road. They failed to cover in 3 out of their 4 games away from home this year. They're also just 1-3 ATS as the official road underdog. Now, total-wise, Tennessee Tech is 80% to the under on the season. Winthrop, 3-1 to the under themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Eagles in this matchup here. Give me Winthrop -14.5 and the under 128 and a hook in that game. And I'm going to slide into my next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be the Mountain Hawks of Lehigh taking on Drake. 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. Now, the Bulldogs of Drake, they're -10. They're laying double digits right now. Total's at 143. We did see a half a point move toward Drake and movement downward on the total. Drake opened 9.5, up to -10. Total open 144, down to 143. Drake has successfully covered the number in 2 out of their 3 games. They're also 2-1 against the spread when laying the points. Liam Robbins is averaging 13 points a game, 5 rebounds. He's also shooting 52% from the field. Anthony Murphy's averaging a dozen a game, 6 rebounds, 52% from the field as well. Now, the Mountain Hawks on the other side of Bethlehem, they failed to cover in 2 out of their last 3. They're also 3-0 to the under on the year, 2-0 to the under on the road. Meanwhile, Drake is 3-0 to the under on the season themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Bulldogs in this matchup here. Give me Drake -10 and the under 143 in that game. And I'm going to slide my quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 64% in our last 14 board member package plays. I like Drake -10, under 143. Winthrop -14.5, under 128 and a hook. Towson +10, under 132.5. Texas -6.5, under 145. Arkansas Pine Bluff +23 and the under 124. And last but certainly not least, I like the Akron Zips -9 and the under 132.5 in that game. All right, let's slide into some shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 65% for the entire college football season on that website. Shout out to Tyon Lowe, Trav Reithmiller, Nathan Woosley. Shout out to New Life. Shout out to the Mac, Square 707 Steampunk PS4. Shout out to Trey Fisher, Tariq Johnson from Newark, New Jersey. Shout out to Melissa Hall Grant, Joe Alba. And last but certainly not least, shout out to All Day Endong from Ghana, Africa. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage. Like I said, we're 64% in our last 14 board member package plays. We're also hitting at 65% for the entire college football season. And like I said earlier, a lot of folks will ask me, what's the difference between what you do here on YouTube and your Patreon page? Well, I tell them this much. What we do here on YouTube is we pretty much handicap every single game on the board, both the side and the total, especially in professional sports. We typically handicap the entire slate. Well, if you were to do that in real life and handicap every single game on the board, bet your hard-earned money on every single game, both side and total, you will lose in the long run, and as a matter of fact, you'll probably lose in the short run as well. The books are too good. The math is against you. Less is more. So what we do on Patreon is we really nail it down and focus on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're games that I personally have action on, and I'll tell you this much. My current record on Patreon is a lot better than it is on YouTube, and you can check out that current record for free right now. All you got to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for tuning in right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you on patreon.com/BrockPage.